the beginning of the presentation, and this is the person who actually initiated River of Herbs. She's a permaculturist. She knows a lot about plants, and she is working really, really hard to build an edible wildlife corridor in Amsterdam, connecting Amsterdam east to Amsterdam west throughout the next 4 years. Please give her a warm applause, Lynn Shore.
Okay, a little bit trendy. It's really nice. Well, first of all, just thanks a million for coming out on a cold evening. I'm glad the sun was out today at least, but it means so much to have so many people who are interested in what we're doing. And that's not just from me, that's from all the people who volunteered to help out this evening, to help out with what we're doing. So thank you. Okay, so I'll try my best with this. The slideshow just disappeared an hour ago, so fingers crossed it stays, but we'll see. Should be fine. Okay, so I thought it was worth giving you just a touch of background, because some of you know me quite well, and some of you just don't know me at all. So I thought it's worth saying, where this is coming from. I'm a permaculturist, and I'm a school teacher as well. And what I had a baby, basically, 3 3/4 years ago. And leading up to that, I did a Masters of Public Health, an MPH, some of you might know about that. And my project with that was all about urban food security, about making sure that the people who live in the city are connected more closely with their food. Now, I had the baby, had Olivia, who's lovely, but I thought, what do I do now? What do I do now? So I started something called Urban Herbology, and that's where many of you know me from. I teach people in the city how to forage for food. So I teach them how to go out and pick things like rose lips, chickweed, to supplement their diet and have some fun with it too. So this became really quite popular. It's in English, but it's still quite popular. And then I thought, well, people really need to know a little bit more about how to put these plants back to where they're taking them from. So the picture on the end there is of elder, flea. Now, I really like to eat elder flowers and elder berries, and I use the leaves for medicine. And I'm teaching people how to do this, so they're taking. So we thought we'd make some baby elders, start planting them, which we did, and it went really well. Take a cutting, put it on a balcony, and 6 months later you can plant it somewhere else. So I thought that's all nice, but it's not really enough. So then I came upon an idea to do something called River of Herbs, and I just like the name, thought that was good. And it's a little bit, well, it's very based actually on something from the UK called River of Flowers. Now, River of Flowers is a really nice project, and it connects up parts of London and other places now by planting small areas or big areas with flowering plants. So it's good for pollinating insects. Now, I love that. I think that's really, really good. But I'd like also to teach people about food that they can grow, going back to the food security link. Yeah? So I started this project and thought, well, this should be for free, because I really want people to do this and not to have to pay for it. So I set up some free training, and that was really popular. That was last year. We had a long waiting list, and 24 people did it. It came out 5 times, and they got booklets, yeah. And I made some booklets at home about how to do the things I was teaching them about. And it's a proper course, so it's quite fun for them, and hopefully they learned some good skills. And each one of them planted up little areas or big areas in Amsterdam with flowers which you can also eat. Now, because I teach people about herbs, all of our plants are herbs as well. So I forgot to say that. So the idea was free training to make it edible and wildlife friendly, and to really empower local people to grow their own food. Now, some of you might grow a lot of food. You might have a moose town, or whatever. You might have a garden. You might grow vegetables on your windowsill or wherever. But most people don't, and they don't really know how to do it. So that was the idea, to get that going. So, but also to not just to have someone who taught them and then they went away and then that's it, but to encourage them as part of the training to teach other people how to do this as well. So that's quite central to it. So teaching others, and then they teach each other. So you have like a ripple effect. So hopefully one person does something in their street, and someone else follows, and so on. Before long, you have the whole street full of edible flowers in the vacant spaces. We plant also in places like just really disused places or underused places. So tree pits, bone speckles, is that the word, or bone ranches? Maybe some of those are quite big or quite small. Just it looks nice, and you can grow things that you can eat there. Now we don't really want to eat from a sort of a doggy, catty tree pit, but you can do a lot with it. You can learn the skills, and you can grow the plants and then take the seeds from them. Or you could take, if you grow your plants high enough, I've got rosemary in my garden that's like this high. This is my measure of where I pick from. It has to be above waist height really for a dog or a person. If it's really high and I want some rosemary, I'll pick it from my street garden and put it with my cooking. So you can eat from it, but we're not really into growing cabbages or something like that in spaces in the streets. I need to be clear about that. That we want to empower people. So anyway, this carried on, it's all going very well. And then we got some funding as well, which is really great because it enabled a website to be built and so on. And from Groenendoen, which some of you know. And then I did a thing in a museum last summer, and I went and asked Intratown if they would support it, and they did. They gave us like €200 worth of plants, which was awesome. And this group here, DARO, I don't know if we have anyone here from DARO this evening, do you know? They nearly came. They told me to have the meeting here, but they didn't quite come. So anyway, they were lovely. And they really liked the idea, and they liked it enough to put it on their Voedselvisie, which is like a map of where edible community projects are in the city. So we're on the map, so everything was really nice, but we thought, okay, how can we really make it stick and make it bigger and make it keep going? So in one of my, I don't know, in the shower or something, like usual, I thought, okay, we need to get together with lots of other green groups who are around the city and help them to do this too for free, ask them to do it for free, and why not make a river that runs through the city, like a really big one, going from the A10, near where I live, by the Middenweg, which is in the east, all the way through the centre, by the Hortus Botanicus and so on, wherever we want to go, and then all the way out to the A10 on the other side of the city at west. And I had in my head, maybe it would be by the hospital there, is it San Andreas Lucas? Because I think health and herbs go together, really. I don't think I'm the only one. So I thought this would be really good. And anyway, so I asked a few friends, and they said yes, they'd really like to do it, which encouraged me more. This was just about the course, so we've done that with booklets or sort of places that we worked on the course. Now, some people on the course have much bigger plans than me. I tend to be a bit like, if I see it, I'll try and plant it. Other people are involved who are planting orchards, and we will do that as part of our river. And some of you have gardens and you've planted those in this way. So it can be very big or very small. This is an example. We didn't plant this one, but this is a nice example of what we were aiming for from this to this. And we did. And also on the course we teach people what to do with the plant. So this, anyone guess what this is? Maybe some of you have seen it before. Paardenbloem, or dandelion, and burdock. What's burdock in Dutch? So it's a really popular drink in the UK when I was little anyway. So we make it with, we made it with honey and with dandelions. So just showing people simple things that they can make. So the food security side of things, the growing side of things, the community side of things. And here we had a lovely trip on one of the meetings to, where's Sylvia? Sylvia? Here, remember that? Sylvia was on the course. Sylvia's at the back. She's involved with dyeing fabrics and textiles. Yeah, is that fair to say? Yeah? And she's been working on her Geveltown, her pavement garden outside of a place where she runs courses. Is that right? Yeah. And had selected plants which were great for dyeing fabrics. So it doesn't have to be that the plants that are chosen are to eat. It can be that they're for other uses as well. They have to be useful. We're not interested particularly in just pretty flowers. It needs to be something else. So we're of course, there's the food side. I tend to talk about the food side of it a lot because I'm motivated, I guess, by my stomach and the food security. But the beneficial bugs are a really big thing with it as well. All of the plants that we choose, we have a list of herbs. That some are, easier to grow than others in Amsterdam or wherever, but they're all aimed at helping pollinators, predators like this lovely ladybird baby here, and parasites of unhelpful garden bugs. So they're all aimed at helping those in some way. So they're very much the wildlife angle. And it looks good as well. We teach people how to build bug hotels and so on. Yeah, very simple, very quick, and very cheap. Here the plant species. No, it's not going to. Oh yeah, we've got a plant species. I won't tempt fate and click that one up. But if you go to the website riverofherbs.org, you'll see there is a plant list of plants which are good for the insects. So you can click on that. There's lots of them, like over 100 that you can choose from. It will be in Dutch soon. But these are just a few anyway that are around town, and some which grow really, really well. Very into this one at the moment, colt's foot. Is it kleine hoofdblad? Yeah. Really good for chesty coughs and so on, so you can make a nice honey with it. You can do all sorts of things with it, and it looks great, and it's very good for pollinators. So things like that, we learn how to collect the seed, not necessarily from this plant, but if you find a plant you really like and you want to grow, how to collect the seed, how to keep the seed, and so on. Hollyhocks at the end, I think they're like the ultimate in urban herb. Do any of you eat hollyhocks? Yes, no. Good. Hollyhocks are really medicinal. They taste good as well. Interesting. Leaves, roots, flowers, all of it you can eat. And they grow well above my test height, so they pass the test. The primroses, primula, is it? Here, these are on there because one thing that we try and do as well is if you have a nice connection with maybe the park managers where you live, or managers, is it? Well, people looking after the land, ask them what they'd like more of, and they might give you some nice answers, and you can start growing them and planting them. So all these things are there. Right, okay. So there we are. So that's what it's all about. I'll whiz through these. Here. So our river, we're looking at a 4-year plan to collaborate. So hopefully lots of you in here might be interested in offering some of the courses that we deliver for free. And in return for that, we'll put you on our website. And if anybody says, and lots of people are contacting us at the moment, and say, I live in this area, do you know anyone that's doing a free course there? And then if you've connected with us, and we know that you can deliver the course, then you can deliver it, and then your own business, if it's a green business, can hopefully be boosted by that. And we're doing that at the moment with groups like City Plot, who are here today, and I Can Change the World in My 2 Hands, and so on. And Tony's here from Phone. But these people aren't all offering the course, but they can. Some are offering advice, and so on. But hopefully, it just puts them a bit more out there, a little bit more connected with people who are interested. We are looking for sponsorship. We've been very lucky with Groen and Doom, but we would like more. So, and we'll distribute that money between the groups who are offering the free courses. So if you're a green group who wants to offer our course, I'm going to put on a special workshop. I'll come back to the next one. Special workshop, 2 workshops soon. I'm calling it the Green Bridge course. And it would just be 2 mornings, 2 short courses, where we'll go and transform an area, and it's just for the green leaders. So people in here, perhaps, who already run green courses, or like work in a community garden for years or whatever. You don't need to do the full course. You do a little one, and then if we're happy with everything, we'll put you on the map as someone who's delivering the course. And that type of people, and the original, full course, will get paid. Get some money for delivering the courses. It's not massive, but so you don't make a loss. Does that make sense? Yeah. Found it? I'm a bit waffly today. So these are the people that we want to get involved. Everybody, basically, because it's a really big thing to do it, and we can't do it on our own. And I go along a street, and I think that would be amazing to do it. Then I think, I hope we get some people who will help on this street. But what we intend to do, I haven't done a very good job of telling you, I don't think, but is that we will do actions in different places. So like Betondorp is high on the list, because it's really, it's at the beginning of the river, We will recruit people. Sylvia lives there, so I'll be recruiting Sylvia and other friends who've done the course to just start off and just, you know, set a date that they'll be in the neighbourhood, and we just not necessarily put things through letterboxes, but just get people knowing about it, that we're going to be there on that day. Come and join us, have some free seed. Let us teach you how to do your little area, or your big area, and try and make it happen there. And then hopefully it will roll and roll. So we'll have bigger things like that and small things as well, just individuals just doing it. Oh yeah, health centres, community gardens, schools, some schools who are very interested in it. I work in a school and they're doing it. All sorts of different places we want involved. And we are linked with local government that have been very supportive. Is there anybody here from Oast today? Oast, Stodsdale Oast? Do they come? Not Stephanie or Brenda, no. But they've been very supportive, really supportive at connecting us up with different places. So we are supported, but we need lots of people involved. Now, the maps, very, very quickly, and then I must stop. Here, just to give you an idea of why we think we need it as well in the city, this is, well, you can read it better than me, the Dutch probably mostly, but this is, for instance, the parks. Here, the motorway's out here somewhere, but there's not really much going on in the centre, is there? We all know about the main parks, but there's not really much that's really structurally green in the centre, so that's one level. Then here, the eco passages, and thanks, Tony, I think, for passing it around to me. But these are the eco passages as well, which is supported by the city, and they encourage them. There's, again, not much going on in the centre. It's really, really needed. These are eco passages for all sorts of creatures, yeah? And our creatures that we're focusing on are flying, so they have an easier time. But this can really, really help. Here, what's this? Oh, the studs on that. So this is projects which are going on. River of Herbs is in there. They put us on Spoustrack because we did an action there. But really, it's only on there because there's nothing there. There's nothing in the centre, really. And the other purple ones, I think that's the Hortus Botanicus herb garden. Gorgeous, but, you know, there's not very much there. We really need more right in the centre. And here, this is our little map that we've started, and there's more on it than this, so I couldn't focus in on it all. But again, people are starting and telling us where they're doing things, and it can be a plant pot. There's some on there of the plants on my balcony, I think. Some on there of big areas, some on there of orchards. There's all sorts of things on there, just represented by a dot where people are doing things. And here, just to give you an indication, you can adopt a tree pit, by the way, if you want to. This took me about half an hour on quite a new computer to get the map that big. It's really hard. You have to tell them exactly the number of your tree and then fill in a form. It's possible, but don't let it put you off. Don't feel you have to do that. Just start planting. Okay? Yeah, benefits. I'm just going to leave on from there, I think. It's well over Bandy, I think. But worth, yeah, well, I'll leave you to read it, maybe I'll show it later as well. But there's lots and lots of benefits of doing it, and we're very into people doing this at very low cost, like literally digging up weeds from the street, if it's a plant that you want, and putting it in your plot. So you can do it for absolutely nothing, or you could spend a lot of money on it if you wanted to. Yeah? But we encourage you to do it and find out what's growing around you. Issues, yeah, I think. I'm not going to talk about all of that now. But there are issues that obviously will come across, but we have an answer for all of them. And the important thing is just get on and do it, really. Involved groups, there they are. So these are the ones who are there at the moment. For instance, Frauenfahrt, they're here offering food around the corner later from West. And they didn't know much about the project until I contacted Rutte and said, hey, will you come and do some speaking for us with your group? But they're now encouraged to have a lovely herb garden there. So we will go and help them and do that for free and then help them to keep it going. So that's the kind of thing that it can be on that level, or it can be on different levels. Just to finish, really, I'm going to go back to that slide that I didn't talk about much, about the phases. And really, it's just to say, what do you think? You know, well, I'm not going to ask you to put your hands up and say whether you think it's a good idea or not, but this is, it'd be nice to show it again. This is what I had in mind, but it's really what I had in mind. It's not what everybody else has got in mind. So I'll put this up on the website. And I would really appreciate people just sort of saying what they think, you know, what the best way of approaching this is. We are approaching it, so it's not like we're going to wait until we hear enough things. We're doing it. And this is the way that we're doing it, because this is the way kind of laying it out at the moment. But we're really open to changing things, and by going by what experience you have as well. So this is one question to you anyway, what do you think of this? So like, we start it, we connect key locations, we look at that map round the corner and what people put online. We try and connect up as much as we can, make some notional river, and we try and plant. And I put here to include, like, to join up the eco passages, the soup kitchens as well, like the Stulen project. I feel really keen to do that, to at least include something on there that's really food security linked as well. Maybe something else as well in the first kind of stage. The second layer, because it can all come at the same time, is to get community orchards and community gardens and schools included. I think the gardens will kind of come quite early actually, we'll just join them up and get people planting. But we've got 2 orchards in the city that we really want to kind of transform with herbs. One is in Park Frankendal and the other is Veldviertien, which is down in the old Ajax Stadium area. It's like 200, yeah, it's like 200 lovely apple trees, what to do underneath, that kind of thing around the edge. And another layer is getting things like the care homes and the hospitals involved. And I think it can't all happen right at once. So anyway, let me know what you think of this. And I'll put this, tomorrow I'll put it on the front page of the website, or just find a bit of paper on the mailing list or anything. Just write down your thoughts before you go. I think that was it really. Oh, and the other thing is, also, who would like to do a course? Would anybody like to do a course? Because some of you don't need a course perhaps, but some of you might do. So, yeah, and of those, so make sure that before you go, you've written it down on the back of the mailing list or something. So just your name, email, and course, please, or something. And then the second course is that Green Bridge one. Do you remember I said about? So trying to help people who are already fantastic green leaders to really get to know us in the project, just over 2 sessions, and learn how to deliver it yourself, or deliver like a workshop or a chat about it, yeah? So that we know that when the next Marnix Strat comes up, or there's something in Kroekjes, is it Kroekjes in Oost? They've asked for a Dutch speaker to turn up on the 12th and tell them about the River of Herbs. Well, I can tell them, but I can't speak. You know, so I know there are some people in here who might want to do that, but we need to know that those people who go forth and say, yeah, come on, join in, that they really understand the project. So is there anybody in here, just a quick show of hands, who would be interested in that kind of just quick fire, 1-2 sessions, yeah? And then, perfect, okay. So those people as well, back of a sheet of paper, or email me if you know through the website. So does that sound okay? So 3 things. Oh, and take your seeds home and plant them. Best time of year is to plant them when the frosts have finished. But if you can't be bothered to wait, just chuck them in. You know, they'll fertilise the ground, so if they don't grow. So just do it, just get going with it, okay? And a massive, massive thank you for all coming. Fabulous. And to Bambi for being such a fan of Dutch English.